Hello, I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're going to look at Farfetch'd, and only Farfetch'd. This is our first single evolution. We will not be covering the Galarian version and Surfetch'd. Those will get its own episode later down the line. This is a very suggestive picture to have, just saying, that makes me uncomfortable. Anyway, going on to the actual nicknames, Wild Quack. Absolute garbage, like a 5-year-old thinks something that up. Lakeisha? No, that just sounds like you're making fun of somebody's actual name, and it's like, that's halfway clever, but still, I don't care for it. Green Onion's crap, Duckling is crap, Quackling is crap, Unibird is also crap. I mean, I'll give at least Lakeisha credit for making me laugh, but I would still never use this. Like, these are all as, oh my gosh, it's still just a step above hating on Twitter, but holy crap. Chiding was one of the options, I think, for Fire Red, and it's not a good nickname. I don't really care for it. I don't even know what the fuck it means, but that's there. And I'm only acknowledging it because it's an in-game trade option, and I don't think they do that actually for some of the other later games. Like, Platinum, when you get the Haunter, I don't think it has a nickname. You know, Kendo would actually be okay for Surfetch'd. Just saying. Ducks was also another option for Red and Blue, and I still think that one is stupid. I imagine the conversation in the meeting room went like, "Hey guys, what do we call this Farfetch'd?" "Ducks." "Good one, Bill. Let's call it a day and go home." And that was it. Alright, so I'm going to acknowledge this because it was in the Golduck episode, and I guess it'll show up later for Ducklet. Quacker Oats, you know, that was one where it's like, I don't think it's good, but I thought it was just barely not crap enough to talk about. And I've never heard of Cold Duck after the cheap wine, but I guess if you want to do that. And I guess Funyuns? Is that how it's spelled? I feel like that's not how it's spelled, but I kind of like the idea of Funyuns, actually. Alright, we've seen Pecking Duck before for Golduck in a previous episode. It wasn't actually mentioned by Denny, but it's interesting that it's here now. I'm okay with that. And then Walking Tall after the film. That's an interesting idea. Like, I never would have drawn that connection, and I don't think many people do because they've more than likely repressed it. But there's that, but also be wary of the character limit. That right there is 7 and 4, which is 11, so you're going to have to squish the two together. Or I guess maybe they were just nicer on the character limit, now it's 12 or something. It used to be 10 back when I was younger. Okay, that's the bottom of Google, and we're seeing quite a few throwaway pages because not everyone seems to be nicknaming their Farfetch'd or even using Farfetch'd to begin with, which is perfectly reasonable. I actually didn't know that they buffed Farfetch'd for Gen 7 until just recently, and I was like, oh, well that's crazy. So before we end off, let's check the spreadsheet. I'm not so sure what it is like about Quacklin, but that seems to be one I see a lot, and I feel like that is supposed to be an in-game trade nickname, but I guess it's not? I don't know. I'm confused by it, because I thought it was, but it's like, well, Ducks is red and blue, and Shading is fire red, then what the hell is this? The rest aren't, like, bad, like Rotisserie, we get that, Gumbo, that's okay. Yeah, that's it. Really, just those two. I mean, I expected Farfetch'd to be a bust, and that's just because it's Farfetch'd. We did see quite a few that were in the Golduck episode, or were interesting enough. Like, the worst of it was right here. Mouse, how does it work? There you go. That was the worst of it. But yeah, I think the best one that I wrote down was Funyuns, honestly. I kind of just like that. I feel like that would be the one I would use if I didn't already have a name for it. The one I use, though, is very not one you're going to use because I named it after my friend, who, when I first met him, his profile picture was a Farfetch'd. And the joke with him was always along the line of like, oh, Farfetch'd sucks, and that kind of thing. So, yeah, not his real name, his username, his alias. So, mine is Rapidio, or Rapitio. I don't know how he fucking pronounces his name. He tells me and I forget. But that's what mine is mine is named after that friend. And I know no one else is ever going to do that. You know, name it after him, because you have no reason to, but... that's just me. Other words, I like Funyuns, Peking Duck, I guess Gumbo's okay. They weren't bad, there just wasn't much. I don't know, it's actually kind of weird to think that Farfetch'd had more and better suggestions than some other Pokemon out there, and that actually gave me a little bit of depression thinking about that. Anyway, provide your suggestions and nickname ideas for Farfetch'd, and keep the discussion going. There's not much more to outro with.